You know what most backyard patios have in common. They are not bad. They are just unfinished. A slab of concrete, some furniture that does not quite go together, a fence that has never once been considered as a design element, and a general feeling that something is missing but nobody can name what it is. I could not name it either, until I started making deliberate decisions instead of random purchases. 12 decisions later, my backyard patio went from the space I walked past to the space I spent every evening in. Total spent, under $90. Time, 2 weekends. Idea 8 is the one that made the single biggest visual difference for the least money of anything on this list. I almost did not include it because it felt too simple. Idea 11 is the one nobody expects and everybody asks about the first time they sit in the space. That is coming up and you will not see it coming. Welcome to Daily Garden Fix, the channel where the outdoor space you want stops being the outdoor space you are planning. 12 budget patio ideas. Real results. Let us get into it. Idea 1. Define the patio boundary with steel edging. Standard patio makeovers start by adding furniture, adding plants, adding lights. My approach starts by defining the boundary, and that single decision changes how every addition after it looks. Here is what is unique: steel edging strip, thin gauge corten or galvanized, pushed into the ground along the outer perimeter of the patio with a rubber mallet. The top edge sitting half an inch above the surrounding surface creates a clean, precise line between the patio zone and everything outside it.
No mortar.
No specialist tools. One afternoon. The innovation is what that line does to the space. Without it, a patio is ground with furniture on it. With it, the patio becomes a room, a defined zone with a boundary that the eye reads as intentional before registering a single other element inside it. Every plant, every piece of furniture, every light placed inside a defined boundary reads as part of a designed space rather than an object sitting in a yard. Cost: $15 to $25 for a standard patio perimeter. The first decision that makes every other decision look better. Idea 2. Resurface tired concrete with two-tone paint. Standard advice for ugly concrete is to replace it, a project that costs thousands and requires professional equipment. My approach transforms the same surface in one weekend for under $40. Here is what is unique: exterior masonry paint applied with a short pile roller in 2 tones rather than one, a warm mid-gray base coat across the entire surface, a lighter stone tone applied only to alternate paving slabs in a checkerboard pattern over the top. The 2-tone result mimics the look of mixed-format stone paving laid in a deliberate pattern at the cost of 2 tins of paint. The innovation is the penetrating concrete sealer applied after the paint fully cures, 48 hours minimum. The sealer locks the painted surface against moisture, UV fading, and organic staining from leaves and debris that dulls painted concrete within 1 season if left unsealed. One sealed application lasts 2 to 3 full outdoor seasons before needing a refresh. Cost: $25 to $40 for paint and sealer. The surface that was embarrassing becomes the surface that earns the first compliment from every visitor. Idea 3. Build a privacy screen from timber and rope. Standard privacy solutions are either expensive timber structures or cheap plastic panels that look exactly as cheap as they cost. My timber and rope system creates genuine visual character for under $35. Here is what is unique: 2 lengths of 4x4 treated timber posts set into ground spike anchors. No concrete, no digging, no contractor, with thick natural rope threaded through pre-drilled holes at 10 centimeter intervals between the posts from knee height to above head height. The rope filters sight lines without blocking air movement or light. The innovation is training a fast-growing annual climber through the rope from the first week of installation. Morning Glory, Sweet Pea, or Black-Eyed Susan threads itself through the rope intervals within days and covers the entire structure in flower within 6 weeks. The rope is the support. The plant becomes the screen. The combination looks like a high-end garden design feature and grows itself. Cost: $20 to $35 for posts, spike anchors, and rope. Under $5 for climbing plant seed. The privacy screen that looks designed and handcrafted costs $35 total. Idea 4. Lay composite decking tiles over existing concrete. Standard patio timber upgrades mean building a full deck, permits, structural supports, significant cost. My composite tile approach delivers the warmth and texture of timber directly over any existing concrete surface in one afternoon with no tools beyond a rubber mallet. Here is what is unique: interlocking composite decking tiles, wood plastic composite in a mid-tone teak or ash finish, click together directly over any flat stable base.
No adhesive. No screws. No subframe.
The interlocking grid system provides its own drainage. Water passes through the tile joints rather than pooling on the surface. The entire installation lifts and relays without damage if the layout needs to change. The innovation is using the tiles selectively rather than covering the entire patio surface. Lay them only under the seating and dining zones, the two areas where feet and furniture legs make surface quality most noticeable. The contrast between the timber tile zones and the painted concrete surrounding them creates the visual definition of multiple zones within one patio space without any structural division. Cost: $50 to $100 depending on area covered. Zero tool installation. Maximum warmth where it matters most. Idea 5. Make a statement coffee table from cable reels. Standard DIY outdoor coffee tables are pallets on legs, recognizable, overused, and limited in their visual appeal. My cable reel approach produces a table with a sculptural form that reads as genuinely designed. Here is what is unique: large wooden cable reels, industrial spools used to carry electrical cable, discarded regularly by utility contractors and available free or near free from local trade suppliers and online community groups, stood on their flat face at coffee table height immediately. No modification required for a single reel. Stack a smaller reel centered on top of the larger and fix both together with 2 lengths of threaded rod through the center holes for a 2-tier version with a lower storage level. The innovation is the finish that makes salvaged industrial timber read as outdoor furniture. Sand smooth, fill cracks with exterior wood filler, and apply 2 coats of exterior decking oil in warm teak or dark walnut. A circle of toughened glass cut to the diameter of the upper reel, available from any glass merchant for under $20, creates a smooth serving surface on top. Cost: $0 to $15 for the reels. $20 for the glass top. The coffee table that looks like it came from an outdoor furniture catalog cost almost nothing in materials. Idea 6. Build seat walls from stacked concrete blocks. Standard outdoor seating means purchasing furniture, an investment that deteriorates, fades, and needs replacing every few seasons in most climates. My concrete block seat wall approach creates permanent weatherproof seating that never needs replacing. Here is what is unique: standard hollow concrete blocks, available from any builder's merchant for under $2 each, stacked 2 courses high in an L shape or U shape around the patio perimeter, create a seat wall at exactly 45 centimeters, the correct height for comfortable outdoor seating. A length of smooth hardwood decking board cut to length, fixed to the top course with construction adhesive, and finished with 2 coats of exterior decking oil becomes the seat surface. The innovation is planting the hollow cores of the top block course. Fill with a gritty compost mix and plant with creeping thyme or compact rosemary, low-growing, drought-tolerant, and fragrant. The trailing stems spill over the front face of the wall within 1 growing season, softening the hard concrete edge and connecting the seat wall to the surrounding planting in a way that reads as both structural and organic simultaneously. Cost: $35 to $50 for blocks and timber.
Permanent.
Zero maintenance beyond an annual coat of decking oil on the timber top. Idea 7. Create an outdoor kitchen station from a salvaged cabinet. Standard patios have nowhere functional to put anything during outdoor cooking. My repurposed cabinet station solves that completely for under $30. Here is what is unique: a single base kitchen cabinet, salvaged from a renovation, sourced from an architectural salvage yard, or found on a local second-hand marketplace, finished with 2 coats of exterior masonry paint in the same tone as the surrounding fence, topped with a large format porcelain tile or a sealed timber board as the work surface, mounted flush against the fence using heavy-duty exterior screws through the back panel. The innovation is the integration approach that makes the cabinet read as a built-in feature rather than a piece of furniture placed against a fence. 2 galvanized pipe hooks mounted to the fence directly above the cabinet for hanging utensils. A short length of pipe as a horizontal rail for a small outdoor chalkboard above the hooks, for a weekly menu, a shopping list, whatever the outdoor kitchen needs to say. The cabinet disappears into the fence. The fence becomes the kitchen. Cost: $15 to $30 including salvaged cabinet and tile or timber top. The outdoor cooking station that looks permanently built in cost $30 and 1 afternoon. Idea 8. Hang an oversized mirror on the fence. This is Idea 8, the one that made the single biggest visual difference for the least money of anything on this list. Standard fence decorating means adding plants, adding art, adding structure. My oversized mirror approach does something none of those things can. It makes the patio appear twice as large as it actually is. Here is what is unique: a large mirror, minimum 60 centimeters across, larger is always better, sealed with 2 coats of exterior varnish on the back panel and frame to prevent moisture ingress, mounted at eye height on the fence behind the main seating area using heavy-duty exterior mirror plates screwed directly into the fence boards. The innovation is the plant framing applied around the mirror after mounting. Train 2 climbing plants up either side of the mirror from pots at the base. The growing stems frame the mirror edges progressively through the season, softening the rectangular form and making the mirror read as a window into a garden beyond rather than a reflective surface mounted on a fence. The reflected planting doubles the visual depth of every bed in front of it. The reflected sky above the fence line makes the enclosed space feel open. Cost: $10 to $25 sourced from a charity shop or salvage yard plus $5 of exterior varnish. The patio upgrade that costs $15 and makes every other upgrade look twice as considered. 8 ideas in and 4 more to go, including idea 11, the one nobody expects and everybody asks about the first time they sit in this space. It involves sound, water, and a wall transformation that costs under $30. And idea 12, the finishing decision that costs almost nothing and makes the whole patio read as one design space rather than 12 separate improvements. Coming up right now. Idea 9. Layer 3 types of solar lighting. Standard patio lighting means one string of lights above the seating and nothing else. My 3-layer approach creates the depth and warmth that makes people stay outside until midnight without planning to. Here is what is unique. Layer 1. Solar festoon lights in a gentle catenary loop between 2 shepherd's hook stakes at diagonal corners of the patio. Warm white at 2700 Kelvin only, never cooler. Layer 2. Solar wall sconces mounted to the fence at seated eye height either side of the main seating zone. Layer 3. Solar spike lights pushed through every planted border at the patio perimeter, angled upward at 45 degrees to illuminate through foliage rather than down onto soil. The innovation is setting every single fixture to dusk on, dawn off from the first evening of installation. All 3 layers activate simultaneously at dusk without a switch, without a cable, without a running cost. The patio that disappears after sunset becomes the patio that earns its own conversation every evening it does not rain. Cost: $50 to $80 for the complete 3-layer system. The professional garden lighting effect that costs hundreds in hardwired installations costs $80 in solar and turns itself on automatically every night. Idea 10. Plant fragrance at every level. Standard patio planting focuses entirely on what is visible. My fragrance-first approach adds the sensory layer that no photograph captures and no visitor forgets. Here is what is unique. Jasmine trained along the lower rope rail of the privacy screen from idea 3 at ground level. Lavender in 2 generous clusters at the outer corners of the patio boundary at knee height. 1 repeat flowering fragrant rose, a standard on a clear stem, in the largest pot at the corner nearest the seating at nose height when seated. 3 fragrance sources. 3 heights. All positioned upwind of the prevailing breeze direction. The innovation is the seated height calculation applied to every fragrant plant. Fragrance from ground-level plants rises past the nose before reaching a seated person. Fragrance from standing height plants passes over the head of someone in a chair. Nose height when seated, approximately 1 meter from the ground, delivers fragrance directly into the space where people actually are when they are using the patio. Cost: $10 to $25 for all 3 plants. The patio that smells extraordinary at 7 in the evening is the patio that nobody suggests leaving. Idea 11. Install a self-contained wall-mounted water feature. This is idea 11, the one nobody expects and everybody asks about. Standard patio water features are open bowls or freestanding fountains that collect debris, require regular cleaning, and look temporary. My wall-mounted self-contained approach reads as a permanent architectural feature from the first day of installation. Here is what is unique. A large glazed ceramic pot or a sealed stone trough mounted at fence height as a sealed reservoir. A length of copper pipe drilled with a thin slot along its lower face mounted horizontally above the reservoir. Water exits the slot along the entire length simultaneously, producing a wide flat sheet that falls into the sealed reservoir below and recirculates continuously via a low-wattage submersible pump running from a concealed outdoor socket or a solar pump panel mounted discreetly above the feature. The innovation is the sound transformation. A water blade, the flat, glass-like sheet of recirculating water, produces a consistent, even, gentle sound that is completely different from the trickle or bubble of a standard water feature. Traffic softens.
Ambient nuisa disappears.
The acoustic quality of the patio changes the moment the pump switches on, and it stays changed for every minute the feature runs. Cost: $80 to $120 for reservoir, copper pipe, and pump. The feature that makes people ask what it is before they ask where it came from. Idea 12. A Apply the consistent material audit. This is idea 12, the finishing decision that costs almost nothing and makes the whole patio read as one design space rather than 12 separate improvements. Here is the genius. Walk the finished patio and identify the material that appears most frequently across all 12 ideas: timber tone, metal finish, gravel color, paint tone. That material is the visual signature of the space. Every element that carries it belongs. Every element that does not stands out as the detail that breaks the cohesion of everything around it. The innovation is the one purchase fix. Identify the one outlier element, the one bracket still in silver when everything else is black, the one pot in a clashing tone, the one cushion cover that belongs to a different color story, and fix it with one small purchase or one coat of matching paint. That single correction is the difference between a patio that looks assembled from 12 good ideas and a patio that looks designed as one complete space. Walk the space. Find the outlier. Fix it. Stand at the back door and look at what you built. Cost: $0 to $15 for whatever the outlier fix requires. The finishing audit that takes 20 minutes and makes 12 weekends of work look like one deliberate plan. Place a shallow glazed bowl of water at ground level near the patio edge. The reflected light animates surrounding planting on bright days, and the bowl becomes a wildlife drinking station that brings birds into the space every morning. Add a single large outdoor lantern hung from a shepherd's hook at the corner of the seating zone. One overhead point source of warm light at head height creates the intimate pool of illumination that makes outdoor dining feel like an occasion rather than a meal outside. Wrap every pot, every planter, and every container on the patio in the same jute twine finish. 2 lengths wound around the exterior and knotted, for $2 of material that creates instant visual cohesion across every planted element simultaneously. The pattern across all 12 ideas is identical. Every decision made here solves more than one problem simultaneously. The edging defines the room and improves every element inside it. The mirror doubles the perceived space and makes the planting look richer. The water feature changes the sound and becomes the feature everyone asks about. Multifunctional decisions made once compound into a patio that works at every level every time someone sits in it. 12 budget patio ideas. 1 backyard. A complete outdoor living space built for under $90. Idea 8's oversized mirror made the single biggest visual difference of anything on this list for $15. Idea 11's water blade changed the acoustic quality of the entire space, the feature that nobody sees coming and nobody stops talking about. And Idea 12's one purchase finishing audit made all 12 ideas read as one deliberate design for the cost of one pot of paint. The patio you have right now is not bad. It is unfinished. And unfinished is always one decision away from something completely different. Which idea are you starting with this weekend? Drop a comment with a number and tell me what your patio looks like right now. I read every single comment and I reply to every one. Subscribe to Daily Garden Fix because new budget makeover ideas come out every single week. Share this with one person whose patio has been unfinished long enough. It might be the 12 ideas that finally finish it. Now go outside. Make the first decision. The rest follows.